Just my people, as the hot, it don't happen. No, there's an issue we need to deliberate on and we need to settle. And in fact, we also need the Senate to visit this particular issue. Please share this video, share to your family and friends. This is a very vital video and this is an educational video. Come to think of it, when they announced the death of the late former president of Nigeria, General Buhari, then another former head of state, which is Abdul Salam, also unveiled that he is also in the same hospital that Buhari died. That means two former presidents of Nigeria, they did this most expensive hospital in London. Now, so we won't continue for this country. And even the current president of Nigeria, which is Buhari, instead they go receive treatment for this London, although say now Paris now in focus on, which is France. Now France now in focus on for your major treatment. And the late president, the late former president, who they call Yar'Adua, too, also visited London for proper treatment. And there's a publication that is flying around now. This our president, former, present, and past, anyone you call them, all of them, they allocate heavy budget. And they spend a lot of money for the clinic or hospital waiting for Aso Rock, which they don't use. And this is a matter that we need to ask. Must all the presidents in Nigeria visit London for treatment? Now, cause who swear for us? And I also heard in this video that the king of Saudi Arabia once visited Nigeria for treatment.
I was with Buhari in the same hospital, one of the most expensive hospitals in Harley Street, housed two former presidents of Nigeria, a country that way back in the 60s, the king of Saudi Arabia, when he fell ill at that time, he came to UCH in Ibadan. Google it. Or like Peter Obi says,
go and verify.
Go and verify. 62 or 63 thereabout. The king of Saudi Arabia came to UCH. Now, one of the most expensive hospitals on Harley Street. If you are used to the city of London, you know Harley Street is where the very expensive clinics are. And they housed two of our ex-presidents. But the politics of that and whatever, we'll talk about that some other time. Okay, so I'm sure everybody is wondering what I think. When I said I was in shock yesterday, I'm not saying like the Ogun State governor said that he was in shock to hear an 83-year-old man pass who had been ill. I think when we write these condolence messages, we should be more realistic and more human. If a man of 83 dies, you don't say you're in shock. But I was shocked, not because Buhari died, but I was shocked at the reactions. Not because I didn't believe in those reactions, but I was shocked at the barrage of anti-Buhari sentiments that were expressed in the social media for various reasons. And it opened my eyes. Let me confess that I'd always been a Buhari fan. But I just wish that after his tenure as a military president, he didn't step into the murky waters of politics, because I believe, at the very least in being polite, that it demystified him. And that demystification happened to me yesterday. My eye just opened. And it's very sad that the Buhari I grew to know way back in 83, had he been at that time, had he been president or head of state for at least 6 years or 7 years, this country wouldn't have been the same. But the Buhari that came, apparently into, and I was one of those that campaigned for him, and all the theories that I put, none of it worked. None of it worked. So yesterday my eyes opened, and I knew I could now understand the anger of most Nigerians. What they didn't say but was implied was that he laid the foundation for the problem we are in now. Whether you like it or not, he laid the foundation for the problem we're in now. And something tells me, and I'm strongly of the view, that the current problem we're in now could have been averted had he been the same Buhari that we grew to know when he was military head of state. I leave you to expand that sentence in any manner that you feel. Buhari did some of us in, but again, that I will not expand, because the current crisis we're in, for example, could jolly well have been averted. And it's funny that the same people that he aided to put us in this mess are the same people who now packed everything and put it on in his laps. You will remember that those in government now keep saying that, if the current president hadn't done this and that, the previous government had laid a bad foundation, and so on and so forth. All said and done, my view is that I don't know where the leadership of this country that will carry us forward. I am at a dilemma as to where it might come from. And I must say that in that regard, I'm a defeated species, and I would need assistance from people to show me a direction in which Nigeria needs to go now. Who is that person? Who are this group of persons that can take us out of this current mess? At 9 o'clock, I've stepped down what I wanted to do before, and we'll be talking about the Buhari phenomenon that will involve you too. Okay, so we'll be able to expand it at that moment. But may his soul rest in peace. I found it remarkable that his wife claimed that he told her that he should ask Nigerians to forgive him. It's very difficult to forgive somebody who you perceive has given you pain when you are still in that pain. Let's be honest, let's be adults and not be hypocrites. It's very, very difficult. It's going to be difficult for the majority of people who express themselves to forgive Buhari for where they perceive he has put them. But as they say, the show must go on. We hope we too will learn. I've learned my lesson, and I hope other people too have learned their lesson, placing their hope. But how do you do it? You judge people by their past experience. Imagine me as a young journalist then. We had a head of state who went after all corrupt persons. You don't want to know how I felt on that particular day when we woke up. Remember, there was no social media, so you heard in the news. Woke up and heard that Buhari had put Diko in a crate. Where anywhere you go, we are going to come after you. When I remember things like war against indiscipline, I remember the case of the law against drug trafficking was death. People queuing, war against indiscipline, all kinds of things. If we had gone the long mile, 6, 7, 8 years, you people, some of you younger ones don't know what it was like, for example, to take a bus way back then. It's every man for himself and God for us all, and pickpockets had a field day. And in Buhari's time, if NEPA disconnects your meter and you go and put it together, the penalty was death. And guess what? He was looking for examples. That's one thing I liked about him then. The unfortunate decree, it caught somebody like Bernard Owo. I was even surprised I remembered the name. I used it to harass Sheriff that my memory is working. Bernard Owo was involved in he was caught at the airport with drugs. Let's say he was caught last week Thursday. By this week, a new decree came out that said that if you were involved in drugs, the penalty was death. And guess what? That's what happened to Bernard Owo. He was killed. That's one of the unfortunate sides of it. But I somehow, it would have been difficult at that time, not, of course, under a military government, that for you to institute that, for you to start that war against indiscipline, crime, and whatever, some eggs, to make that omelette, some eggs will have to be broken. Some of the politicians had a set of twins in prison. He threw all of them in prison. By the time the Maverick came out, that footballer came out, he had pardoned everybody and his business as usual. And the result